I'll give it a few minutes to see if anybody joins. Give it a few minutes, see if anybody joins. A couple of people joining on. Give it a few more minutes to see if anybody gets involved. It's a relief, that, wasn't it? Yeah, I had some issues getting the live on today. Obviously, players have been out on the pitch, etc. Had to wait a little while to get involved. Yeah, we're jumping in the comments already. Love to see it. Right, it's all coming in now. See, there's plenty of you guys on here. I'll start that chattering away. Right. You'll take it. You'll take it. It was utter drivel, the game itself. Newcastle United had to do their own job to make it easy, and they didn't. They were a long way off doing their own job. They were dreadful, actually. Not great in the first half, even worse in the second. The changes that were made in the game made it worse, but really, at the end of the day, it hasn't mattered. It was a difficult watch, as people are saying in the comments there. It was a challenge, but Newcastle United are in the Champions League, and to know that Champions League football is back at St James's Park again next season is a pretty good feeling after that season. It's the cherry on the top. It was such an anticlimactic game. They scraped in really on goal difference from Aston Villa. I've heard there's considerable amount of controversy in that game. Obviously, it was a red card, a goal ruled out, etc. I'll have to see it all again. But look, I'm going to jump in the comments and see what you guys think. I don't really think there's much to talk about, to be honest, with regards to the game. It was just the one to forget, genuinely forget. Right, what we've got, 95 of you on here. Looks like you're getting involved. Apologies if you did join on the I tried to schedule one during the game, but to be honest, the signal and internet here has been actually really difficult today. It happens sometimes here at St James's Park, as you'll probably already know if you were here. I'll have a little spin so you can see around the place. That's where I was going to say that's where the magic happened, but there wasn't much magic out there today. Anyway, look, Champions League football, it means so much. It really does. It means so much. The financial cherry on the top that Newcastle have got, the reward is huge. You just have to look at the finances of Aston Villa, for example, what they've managed to bring in. Their accounts will show that, and they'll miss out on next season. You know, get to the stage they did, and they did really well. But you're talking about 80 million quid straight in the bank, on top of Newcastle United already doing a lot of the donkey work on making sure that they were on the right side and the right line of PSR heading into the summer. The Lions, not the prey, going into this summer. They have money to spend. They've got plenty in the armoury. They need plenty in the armoury, let's be brutally honest about that. Let's not skirt around. And I'm not going to name names, but there's 4 or 5 individuals in that team that play today where you look and say, you've had good seasons, but if Newcastle United want to level up, in what's been a very challenging Premier League season in terms of the quality, I would say overall, if the Premier League levels up, Newcastle will get left behind, and I think Newcastle need to level up in a few situations. Look, they missed a few key players. Joe Linton's a big miss. Alexander Isak's not quite fit. Anthony Gordon doesn't look fit. That's the end of Callum Wilson today. Was that quite emotional? And I think it's the right decision. So it should be the end of Callum Wilson. But you know, he's been a good striker for Newcastle. I want to put that on record. It's been look. I think it's the right decision for all involved for him to go. He's been a good striker for Newcastle United. Scored goals and kept this team in the division a lot of the time before the takeover. Had been a really good servant, so I can't complain either with him. I was less than impressed. I think Anthony Gordon was hooked at half time. I don't think there was an injury there. He didn't look like he had an injury. I think he was hooked, and he skirted off very quickly actually when the players were going around. Kieran Trippier was speaking to a lot of fans down at the Gallagher, down this corner here. Interesting to see what happens with his future. Still don't really know, so that's probably going to be a question for the summer. Does have a year left, of course. But yeah, anyway, there's lots of little mini narratives that you can sort of see in that game there, at the end of the game, sorry. But for me, the overriding thing, it's a fantastic reward after an amazing season. But the finances of it are just... I've seen a lot of people getting their excuses in early on social media. Not to call out any names, but a lot of people were. There was a lot of them out there going, I know, but even if it doesn't happen, it's been a fantastic season. Yes, that is actually true. But getting your excuses in, it would have been... Look, there's a lot of people at this football club would have been so devastated about not being able to unlock the door, and Eddie Howe would have been one of them. And all those players out there who knew they needed to get Champions League after the season they'd had would have been devastated. You could see it, the reaction of a lot of them on the final whistle. Fabian Sherbets dropped to his knees. A few others dropped their knees. They were devastated. They didn't know. Alexander Isak was frantically screaming across, what was the score? What's happening elsewhere? Are we in? Are we not? Harvey Barnes ran over from the bench and started explaining to the players, look, that's the score. Then the score came up on the scoreboard up here. And then eventually when the final whistle went at Old Trafford, sweet poetry there. It was Manchester United who stole from Newcastle United. I mean, they won. They won it legitimately. A Champions League place last season. Not Champions League place, European place last season. On the cup final day, winning the cup. Went Newcastle United dropped out Euro together, and it was Manchester United who gift wrapped. That's Nick Pope here, no wonder. You see him in his lovely new purple number. It was sweet poetry that Manchester United were the team that gift wrapped Champions League football for Newcastle United when they couldn't do their own job. That's all they had to do in the end. Right, look, I can see this. This is ridiculous. 370 you guys on here, 18 likes. Can you give it a like if you're enjoying the content so far? And I'm about to jump in the comments and see what you guys are saying as St James's Park shuts down around us. You might hear all the bashing and banging and shouting and bawling. And anyway, we'll keep going. Right, I'm going to jump in the comments. I'm going to make sure I've got the right top messages, all messages. Make sure I've got all messages on so I can speak to you guys and see who was first today. Who was first with a comment? Benny B. Oh. Champions League music.
Yep, Champions League. He's done.
No, leave them. No, leave them. Yeah, cheers. There's a steward walking around St James's Park playing the Champions League music. And he's just trying to nick me programme. What on earth? Anyway, you know these things can be unpredicted. Who knows what's happening? Yeah, right. That's thrown me again. As it not? It doesn't often. Well, that was odd. That was very odd. Strange. Anyway, Benny B 1892 was the first in the comments today. Thanks a lot for getting involved. Villa got effed with that disallowed goal. Wow. Jody Dog makes up for Man United in Europe off last season, exactly as I just said. Paul Fellis and Man United have without fail let us down time after time. The bloody owed us this. James Emston for such an awesome season. So much of it was thoroughly unenjoyable and that performance stank, but it's all good. Keep with the good work, Liam. Cheers. I actually do agree with that sentiment largely. I'll take it. I wouldn't have swapped the season for the world, but it hasn't actually been enjoyable from start to finish. It's been grim at times. Some of that stuff looking around November, early December, I had no idea where this season was going to go. I couldn't have predicted it would go here, and that today was a little bit of that, going back to those times. And they haven't really played all that well since the cup final, but they've getting results, and you can't really fault it. Derek Ferguson, I thought we were okay for having to get Europe. Dave Woodall, can you please give a shout out to, I don't know who that is, Andrew Road? It's a poor league really. Andrew NUFC, get in there, Liam. What an awesome season. Paul Chollett, what a season, mate. We are back in the big time. Graham Doherty, never thought I'd be wanting a Man United win. Yes, they owed us for pinching our place last season. Just said that. Poor game today. I think the pressure got to us, but we made it. Phew. Derek Sharp, any news saying why Gordon wasn't on the pitch at the end? He was on the pitch at the end. He was round on the pitch all the way through. But he did leave quite swiftly as it started. In fairness, the lap of honour had started to fade a touch, and Gordon shot off. He's got a young family as well, so he was with his missus and his kids. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to read too much into it, but he did shoot off quite early. Got to be said. Davey Eddy, we deserved it over 38 games. We must strengthen though. Isak disappeared the last 9 games. Gordon and Barnes pretty awful, but refresh and go again. I thought Barnes and Murphy were dreadful, absolutely dreadful today. I think Gordon wasn't great either. And Isak wasn't great either, but what I'd say about those two is I don't think they're fully fit. Ian McCubbin, we got the rub of the green today. Benny B won 1892. Again, that game showed why we lack a number 10 against a low block. We do need somebody to create and open up doors. Paul Featherstone, our PSL gamble paid off. Villas did not. Can somebody who's, there's a lot of you guys on here do the moderating of these comments. This DWUDLE. Is there any chance you can just get rid of him? Wipe him from the chat because he's been a dick. Paul Featherstone. Our PSL gamble paid off. Villas did not. James McCarthy. Today's game really highlighted how important Joe Linton is to the team. Is our most elite Eddie Howe type player. Barry Hogan. Liam, do you feel Mr. Mitchell, that player's ready to come in straight away? I don't think it's not Mitchell who's doing these things. Eddie Howe is the man who deals with, gets the final say on all transfers. So I wouldn't say it's been driven by Mitchell, but I think they have got a few things lined up. And there's a few things they're working on. They've been doing a lot of due diligence and transfer talks with the top targets in the country. You've seen the names. They've all been around. I can tell you information about all of them. Delap, Cunha. I've done that due diligence on quite a few. Tentatives and Buemo. Others. There's been others. Huyson was one. Lost him. That's what I'm saying. So the what Newcastle United are in at the moment is a fight for all of the best players, and they're not going to get them all. They might not even get some of them, but that's just where they are. They don't really at the moment have the financial might to compete in terms of wages, so they're going to lose some of these players. But it's an ambitious project that is moving in the right direction, and it's got Champions League football, so they've got a lot in their favour. Just they can't quite pay that money, so they won't get all of these players, but it doesn't mean they're not trying. Sean, not a good performance today, but a good outcome. Major team improvements needed. Taxis ordered for Wilson and Byrne. I think Byrne's a bit unfair. Young fighter, shut your ass up. Jog on. Don Pearson, shockingly bad today, but to get Champions League with our weak squad is remarkable, really. It actually is. It really is, actually. I don't think Eddie Howe... after having done, I was massive in praise for Eddie Howe last week with the way he set the team up, and then went again with a changed team later in the game against Arsenal. I think it was the opposite of the day. I think everything he tried didn't work. You're going to have days like that. The players weren't quite at it, but nothing worked, and the tactical self didn't work at all either. But for him to have managed to squeeze every last drop out of some of the players that we see out there, and some of the players in this squad, is just... it cannot be overstated, and the longer the season's gone on, that's become more and more apparent. What a fantastic job that he's done, really, to squeeze so much out of it. He has to keep going, and we'll have to keep getting better, but you cannot fault it, really. Ian McCubbin, Villa going to have to sell to balance the books. I think they were going to have to anyway, was my information, but Emmy Martinez will be one of those that does hoover up a lot of the PSO hole that they've got. Derek Sharp at Wilson goes back to Coventry. That'd be a nice move for him. I thought if they got promoted, that would have been a perfect move for him, but I didn't take any pleasure in seeing him in tears. I think the time's up, but he's been a fantastic servant for this football club. It gets said too often. I remember when Javier Manquillo left, and I got a slaughtering on Twitter because I was criticising people who were going, great servant to the club. He wasn't a great servant, he was just alright. Callum Wilson does fit into the great servant, in my opinion. Fluff, controversial opinion, but I'd sell Gordon for 60 plus. Colin David being a great season, it has. Derek Ferguson need to get more players in, not just a few big names. James McCarthy, Eddie shouldn't have played Gordon today. He's always rubbish against Everton. He does. He's never played well against them. Too much pressure on a young lad. Barry Hogan, Liam, any truth in Man City one Tino? I don't know. I don't really have many Man City contacts, but I think when he puts in performances like we know he can, in terms of his physicality, I'd be surprised if every football club on the planet doesn't want a little bit of Tino Livramento. If he can add that little bit of final third quality. Ray Edgar, I'll be selling Barnes ASAP if an offer comes in. Elliot Regan, get the chuff in there, get Eddie's statue up. David Williams, Gordon was shit, sell him now. Derek Sharp, the players bottled it. Shez Haley, mate, how you doing? Hope you're well. I heard you met Wardrows. I did. I was in the Tyneside Irish before the game today and managed to speak to Jules, and she's always in here doing God's work in the chat, keeping things clean. So much appreciated to all you guys, including you, Shez, and all the other people in and involved behind the scenes in the Geordie Journals who just volunteer, and they take it upon themselves to do this, but they keep this thing clean and keep this thing going, and I love you all for that. Thank you so much. Paul Swift, Champions League achieved or a great season. We'll need quality reinforcements for next. Agreed. Richard Vos, we were never scoring today, but it's a huge win. We now go into the summer with a whip hand Massive kudos to the Manx. You didn't think you'd be saying that, did you? Northumberland Rock Up, my God, we were bloody awful. Lucky we scraped over the line, but that today was abysmal. Jan Levens, to be fair, I would say Botman, Gordon, Wilson, Willock, Longstaff, Dubs, Trips, Kraft, Lascelles, Asula, Murphy. That will not happen. Northern Golfer, Gordon body language today is in question. Something isn't right with him. Don't know. Paul Featherstone here. Remember when Villa complained? They were battered by a weakened Man United first half. They only stayed in the league during lockdown when Sheffield United scored with a goal not given. But clearly, I remember that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 467 of you guys on here. 89 in comments.
Você alugar um apartamento lá na hora que você chega, é pior ainda. É muito
That's
difícil,
Bruno
você vai ter
Almeida.
que tirar NIE, entendeu?
Just let them get past. Unless you can understand Brazilian, of course. Brazilian. Portuguese. The star of the Tyneside scene is Bruno's dad.
Hello.
Say hello to the fans. Cheers, mate. Bruno's dad on the live. Love it. Where are we at? Mark Roll 4863. Dan Burns slipped 3 times for fuck's sake. Change of He was like on ice skates. Sean House subs baffled me. Threw 2 strikers on to salvage something, but there was no service to Isak from the first one. There wasn't. It was nothing at all there today. Winterwick NUFC. Hi Liam, did you spot any of us goodbyes today from any of the players after the match? Obviously Wilson, we all seen that one. I was intrigued by Trippier, and I was a little less intrigued, but almost flagged and noted Anthony Gordon's early exit. B2 very lacklustre today. Only positive is the Champions League place. Lily Lowell, hi, get in there, mate. Europe, get in. I'm happy too. Hey Gadius, what a fucking year. Ben Porter, well Eddie, I've started allowing swear words to creep in on this thing, and I say keep it clean with other people. I'm just a hypocrite, really. Just a hypocrite. Nah, it's my channel. It's me and the lads' channel. We do what we want, can't we? Ben Porter, will Eddie be ruthless enough to sell Murphy this season? Has he learnt lessons from Almiron? Derek Sharp, Pope is going to sleep in that tonight. The purple thing, I don't know, maybe. Did some good saves today, I can give him that. Dutch Tune, happy to bits we got Champions League and a cup this year. In the future we should win these kind of games to be a massive club we want to be. James McCarthy, he's replying to someone, I'll not read that. Michael, Newcastle never make it easy. I thought it would be the day and it really wasn't. 471 of you guys on here, 94 likes, give it a like. That's what shares the Geordie Journos message around, by you guys interacting. Love it. John Quinn, look at the whole season, not today only. Absolutely. Benny B1 1882. I'm whizzing through these, by the way, to make sure I try and get as many comments in as I possibly can before I get booted out of here, which may come, it may not, who knows. Benny B1 1882. Guess Liverpool and Arsenal won't be nicking Isak now. Well done, lads. Marco 4863. Asula really changed things down the right. Such a shame he's not getting more of a chance. It's Kieran Trippier on his way. And the main man, Bruno game alright? Can you see him there? Can't see him. He's saying hello to his agent and his dad and etc. Passed on the way down. Lily Nolan, hi there, getting mate Europe again. Ole, ole, ole. Oliver Wood feels like a loss of Joe Linton has exposed our lack of midfield depth. Ian McCubbin or Sula should have been brought on instead of Wilson. Winterwick NUFC, I'd say Villa and a sticky wicket and with PSR now. Northern Golfer. Big changes during the summer to take the next step on our journey. Can see a few movements. Shares Liam, you have the super ability to fly, but you can only fly when you're spewing offensive slurs. Okay, so I can fly, only offensive. Would you accept the power if it meant you could save lives despite deeply offending those you're saving? I'm imagining these words would be really offensive, but I'll save lives. I've come to save you now, fuck off. Which is so silly, man. So silly. Geordie 77, let's hope we scrap this 5 at the back formation. We look so disjointed. I think it's a horses for courses thing, and today was not the course for it, clearly. Marco 4863, Asula right wing, not a forward, possibly. Carabao Cup champion Tony Timebridge. Martinez cost Aston Villa. Hoyland would have probably missed the open goal anyway, possibly. Right, that's fair. Dinny Mag onwards and upwards, exactly, mate. Always got to be. Daniel Igo. Daniel, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Eddie Nelly owned that there with the starting lineup. Shifting Tino over made no sense and gave us nothing down. If he actually created problems for himself at fullback where there was none previously. Ali B1, awful result, but job done. Tactics all wrong. Subs 2, but it's done. Pope man of the match along with Tonali second. Paul 1892. If we play in Turkey, you can get your baldy heat on. Do you know what? Actually, we got an email this week into the Geordie Journos account and it was asking if I wanted my teeth done. Now, I wouldn't mind a bit whitening, but I think I'm all right for my teeth. And Jordan's got decent gnashers, and Dom as well has got decent gnashers. So, I mean, if there's any of those Dr. Cynic hair clinics out there that do fancy send a Geordie journals, I'll do a big video and give you plenty of promotion. Never mind, you might need 1.5 million follicles from me. Never mind no else though. Anyway, where we are, John Quinn. Well done, lads. The week scored nearly cost us. Geordie dog. Well, at least that reinforces how much we need a few good signs. Exactly. I think there's no doubt about that. Toto, Newcastle FC has small team mentality. Won't do well. Shut up, man. John Spence. I thought we were shocking today. Murphy, Barnes and Willock should go. Jay, many thanks to Geordie Journos, the three of you. Terrific job again this season. We're extremely grateful to you, Liam. Enjoy the break too. Cheers, Jay. Thanks, JJ. Really appreciate those kind words. It's really nice because we get some crap and it's nice to get some good bits too. Paul 1892, only joking. Kathy Tightler. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. The skin of our teeth, but we got there. Quality. SP Gordon was accommodated far too long on the left. Murphy tried too much and started losing the ball, trying to make things happen, but just because others weren't. There's Fabshare. Away with his end of season pizza. Markwell 4860. Dan Byrne and Murphy diabolical today, to be honest, but Byrne and Murphy have been great overall. Exactly. I think that's fair. James McCarthy. It's never been more important to get Champions League football. It has because of the amount of money involved. Going into the summer window, Chelsea and Villa could have pulled away from us in the transfer market. Say Messi 10, Newcastle didn't join the Champions League. No idea what that means. Learn to type in normal readable language and I might be able to read it and understand and comment. NSI, we have a massive summer transfer, possibly. Don Pearson, maybe Gordon left early to watch the Liverpool celebrations. I see what you're doing. Daniel Igo, João Pedro on the right. I would love to see it. MB14, Newcastle proper bums. Proper bums, what? Bums on seats. Carabao Cup champion Tony Timebridge, League Cup and Champions League football. What a season it's been. Even if it wasn't smooth sailing, it's the best season. EG can't believe Man United and referee did us a favour. Where we are? Have we got loads more comments? Oh, wow. Yous are flying, man. I've gone to the bottom there. Richard Neal, Liam, you're the bestest journalist on the planet on. I mean, you maybe aren't seeing too many journalists if you think I'm the best, but I really do like those words. It's lovely. Right. Where are we at? I've done 22 minutes. Paul Chollett and Liam, did you see Munkenstein outside the Grammys Cross? He literally walked past me as I was coming under the Milburn stand, dragging this bloody huge cross thing. I did see Munkenstein. Fair play to the guy, fair play. Anyway, right, I'm going to have to shoot because Jordan needs some help. I can't leave him any longer doing the work of Newcastle World, God's work himself, all alone. We've got a bank holiday weekend. Our good friend of the channel, Dominic Skur, is in a massive week for him, as you might know if you regularly watch the Geordie Journos. And we'll be enjoying that with him this week. And then also we'll be playing on the park here at St James's Park. We'll be playing here, myself and Jordan, on Tuesday, which would be fantastic. And we'll possibly try and do a little bit of a video. If you'd be interested in that kind of thing, do let me know. There's the main man, the man who ended it all, Bruno Guimaraes. Class. On that note, good night, God bless from the Geordie Journos.